Yes, St. Martin, good night, good night. And welcome to your favorite online internet program, www.sxmtalk.com. I'm smiling and laughing a bit because the young people set me up, but they're laughing at me. But don't worry, I'll get back at them because that's what we do here on the program. We try to, promote and big up and uplift when you're doing good things in the society, when you're doing good things to the country. I posted St. Martin Youth Speaks because I was to have at least six individuals tonight joining me on the program, but they seem to have gotten cold feet, so they chicken out on me. So that's why I'm here smiling because there's only one, and then he's definitely saying he's not coming on by himself. So I guess I'll be home alone here tonight. But don't worry, I'll get them back. So my apologies for not having that interesting show because we was about to talk about anything concerning young people on St. Martin, concerning the way they see things on the island. Because when we had a discussion before, and that's the reason why I said, it will be a good topic. It will be a very good topic to bring about because when I had a discussion with the young people, we all were sitting and I started to throw some questions at them, and to my amazement, the response, the articulation, the way they brought about the answers, and even some of the questions that they ask, make me to believe that despite all that we see and we hear in the country, we still have a very bright future because it is not all the youth that seems to be lackadaisical, that seems to have no interest in studies or seem to just have no concern what is going on. That is absolutely not true. Thus the reason why I prompted and really initiated in having them on tonight. But I guess it will take a little bit more encouragement for them to want to be on the program. I guess when they see one come on and they start to brag and talk about getting their school friends, say, we saw you online, we saw you, blah, 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 I guess they will want to come on also. But of course, like I said, we'll have a discussion because I have a very interesting discussion that I would like to have with you guys, and it will be good if you can send in your questions in the chat box because I really want to know. I really want to know, how do you guys view and see things in the society, in the country that we live. As a matter of fact, in the broader context of living in the kingdom, how you see, our system. And we're going to have a panel discussion. We are working on it right now. So if you guys have any suggestions, you should also send them in on the chat box and let us know what you think. So call a friend, call someone, tell them to log on to www.sxmtalk.com. We're going to be having our interesting programs coming up. Not this week coming, God spare. I'll be off island. But the following week, we have a number of interviews lined up, and they're going to be very, very interesting, very, very exciting because we have a few, how should I call it, high-ranking people to the top will be joining us in the studio. But like I said, I would like to discuss something that I've seen going on for a while, and it had to be a discussion a long time, but we are busy nailing down getting the individuals, getting the guests to come and discuss this topic. We're also going to have a panel discussion that's going to be our permanent panel discussion when we have these sort of hard-hitting topics to discuss. What am I talking about? I'm talking about our political structure, our political system as it is now in St. Martin, former Netherlands, Antilles, all the islands, and the kingdom at large. Because I don't know if you guys have really paid attention to it or look at what is going on. But out of the whole kingdom, which includes the Netherlands and all the islands, right? There's only one part of the kingdom that is still intact based on how the people voted. When you look at it, the government in the Netherlands fell. The government in Statia fell. The government in Bonaire fell. The government in St. Martin fell. The government in Curacao also fell. Only Saba seems to have maintained their political structure in terms of what the people voted for. But when you look at these other islands and you also look at the Netherlands, you know, it leaves one to say, but how is it that in this new setting that we have, the new setting, so we have the Netherlands being the kingdom, and we all being part of the kingdom, but the Netherlands, the government fell. They are having elections for the Tweede Kamer coming up in September. I believe it's the 21st or the 22nd, I'm not too sure, right? But they have elections coming up. Curacao, the government fell. They have elections coming in October. In Bonaire, the government fell. In Statia, the government fell. In St. Martin, the government fell. It leaves me to believe, it leaves me to look at different scenarios and say, something seems to be wrong with the makeup of our political structure. Because when we look within the diaspora of the Caribbean, we are not hearing about governments breaking down and falling apart. We are not hearing it. Throughout the whole Caribbean, there's no, I mean, let's take all the CARICOM Islands. Let's take all Trinidad and Tobago, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda. Okay? The Virgin Islands. The Bahamas. We see that yes, in Cayman, the government was placed under higher supervision by the United Kingdom. But what I'm saying, here you have a new system that we all went into. St. Martin and Curacao being separate status, country within the country. Both governments fell. Both governments fell. Same thing happened in Bonaire. Same thing happened in Statia. Same thing happened in the Netherlands. Do coalition governments work? It doesn't seem so. Or if they do work, it doesn't seem that they last very long. And I am saying, when we have a system like that, in my opinion, the only people that suffers is the public. Because we have governments that the people didn't vote for. Or I shouldn't say governments, but we have, I can't say a structure or a system, right? But I don't know if it's feasible or if it's right that we have individuals what can go independent, take a seat and go and leave. I don't know. I just want to have a dialogue as to ask what you guys think about that. Because, and then you would hear people say, yeah, but that's what the people voted for. And I'm saying, no, I don't think that's what the people voted for, because the people didn't vote for Patrick to go independent. They didn't vote for Romain to go independent. They didn't vote for France to go independent. They voted for them on a party, on a list, to represent them in a holistic manner, in a structure of a political organization, of a political party. So we see governments falling within the kingdom, within the former Netherlands Antilles, because an individual decides to go independent. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Only they have their reasons as to why they do what they do. But when I look at the structure, when I look at the makeup of the structure, and then I look throughout the Caribbean, I said, in my opinion, something seems to be wrong. It doesn't mesh well. It doesn't seem to be working well. And it seemed as if the trend is going to continue, because when you look at how things are right now, it seems as if it will be very difficult for one political party to win an outright majority. And if that is the case, right, we will be plagued with coalition governments. And I don't think that coalition government works. I don't think that it works, because it's about an agenda that every coalition have for themselves. So, what should be done? What is the solution? What are the suggestions, right? I think our political structure needs to change. I think our political structure needs to change. And we need to evaluate how things are being done within the region and see what works best with us. But then it goes to say, What does the Constitution of the Netherlands say? What does the Constitution of the former Netherlands Antilles say? What does the Constitution of St. Martin and Saba, Statia and Bonaire and Curacao says? Because we have a constitution and we need to follow those organic laws. We need to follow how things are worked out. All right? Should it be made that an individual can go independent? Yeah, I really don't know. How I feel about it, I don't think it should be that way. I don't think it should be that way. And I think if an individual wants to go independent, but then again, because seats are allocated, okay, and you got those seats because of the number of votes you receive on the party, not as an individual, but how the amount of votes you receive on the party. You see? But to me, I think this discussion needs to be much bigger. It needs to be much broader. We need to get someone from Statia. We need to get someone from Curacao. We need to get someone from Bonaire. We need to get someone from St. Martin. And let us discuss it. Let us dialogue. So that's what we're working on. That's what we're working on as a panel discussion to have coming soon in the studio. And I think that will be a very, very interesting discussion. We should have our phone lines up and running by then. However, like I said, we have moved past our limited listening audience right now because you can log on your BlackBerry and you log on www.sxmtalk.com on the BlackBerry. You download there, you would see the site come up. You go up and you scroll and you click on SXM Radio. And you can do the same thing on your iPad. Can it be done on the iPod? Okay, but I know it can be done on the iPad. You can do the same thing on the iPad, right? And you can hear us audio. We don't have a visual, but you can hear us. And I was told by many that it is clear. You can hear it smooth, and it's working very, very well. So you don't have to be bogged down in front of your laptop or your computer and stuff like that. You can be moving around, and you can have the headphones in your ear, and you can listen on the BlackBerry to the program, right? But that is one of the things that I was thinking about in terms of a panel discussion for us to have. So it will be good for you guys to formulate your questions because we are already contacting some individuals for us to have this panel discussion and how things should go. Like I said, I did have a interview planned tonight with some young people, some youth, but however they didn't show up. And I have also received a lot of messages for us to replay a few other shows that we have did. But what I told many individuals, right, it doesn't make much sense for us to replay those shows because they're all there. They're all there. You can go and you can click on it anytime. You can watch them anytime because we have them there on the website. It's a matter of you going from 1, 2, and 3. When you see one page is full up, I think we're up to like 4 pages in terms of the number of videos we already have, shows and programs we already have. And I think many are getting a bit confused. But the website is simple, it's self-explanatory. You have live and serious discussion. That's most of the times when I am by myself and we are discussing a topic, we are discussing a point. That is where live and serious discussion fall under. And then on Wednesdays and Sundays we have hard talk. That's when we have a guest in most of the time and we are dialoguing and we are having a conversation. So if you look at the website, you'll see live and serious discussion on one side and you'll see hard talk on the other side. There are 2 different programs, 2 different shows. Also, I wanted to say that we welcome individuals who would like to have a show on SXM Talk. We have room, we have space to host another program. And it doesn't matter what it is. You can come, you can talk to the production manager and everything will be set up, everything will be discussed. And like I said, we are different than the mainstream media because here on the internet, you can say it, you have a freedom of speech. I also want to big up or even shout out to St. Martin Pride Foundation, Yadira Vane, and also Epic for spreading the word in the program that we did last night. And I'm also apologizing for not mentioning the origin of the video, because I saw that she said, just for the record, it is one of Dwight Baran's production that he did many years ago. Of course, for all those who didn't know, there's where that clipping that we did on the late Claude Watty came about. But I think we did give recognition as to where that video came from and where it came about. I've also been receiving some messages from individuals saying that I need to remember that I am part of a government that is governing right now, so I can't be criticizing and I can't be slandering and talking this and talking that about the party that I represent. And I want to make something abundantly clear here, right? Nothing is wrong with constructive criticism. And when I criticize my members of parliament, when I criticize my political party, it only adds to us growing and becoming better. And this is a problem that we have here in St. Martin. We feel that politicians or elected officials get elected and then that's it. They have carte blanche to do whatever they want, hands are off, and nobody else or no one should say nothing. And we should just leave it and happen. And I think something is wrong with that. I think if we want to move this country forward, right, we should be able to speak. And we should be able to speak freely without being prosecuted and persecuted. Okay? Without anyone being vindictive or coming for you because you have an opinion, you have something to say. I mean, you're not dragging no one down in the dirt. All right? And listen, and I, for one, when I have something to say, I'm going to come right here and I'm going to say it. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to say it. Because I live in a country that I feel that government is not doing their utmost for the people. I think they're doing more for themselves than they're doing for the people. So I'm saying that the people of St. Martin deserve more and they deserve better. That's all I'm saying. And I'm pointing out areas and sections that needs to be worked on. I mean, what is wrong with that? What is so difficult about that? So one shouldn't say anything. You shouldn't have an opinion. Like, for example, I mentioned, right, that it was ludicrous, it was crazy and there was warnings about hurricane, tropical storm Isaac that was coming. So the Wednesday, schools were closed. Schools were closed on the Wednesday. But everything was quiet, everything was calm, everything was good. And we were told that it would come Friday morning and the rest of the Thursday. So what happened? They closed the schools on the Wednesday when there was nothing, and opened the schools on Thursday when the winds was gusty, when there was raining and children going to school. And we see in the newspapers that this pole fall down, this tree fall down. Okay? And when I said what I said, people feel that, oh, he has a prime. I don't understand why the Prime Minister can't be touched. I think the Prime Minister made a blunder, and because it was already done, because the message was already out there, it goes against protocol for them to pull it back. That is what Solomon said, Winston Solomon said, for disaster management. They said that they don't want to set a precedent because they already said that schools will be open and they can't pull back the message or what was sent out. And to me, that is just plain and simple ridiculous. Many of the schools said that they had about 10 students here, 20 students there, 15 students here. Okay? Because it simply wasn't conducive for students and children to be in school. And I'm saying to myself, so many parents saw it, many teachers saw it, principals saw it, but they should hush their mouth. They shouldn't say nothing. They shouldn't have nothing to say because The Prime Minister is the head of the disaster management, and her team and her advice says that yes, there should be school, and no one should say nothing if you have an opinion and you felt it was coordinated wrong. And I'm saying to myself, but that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. If you have an opinion, you have something to say, you should feel free to want to voice your opinion without being sanctioned, without figuring that something's going to happen to you, without worrying what's going to go wrong. And that's the sort of St. Martin that we live in. Everyone is scared. No one wants to talk. So we continue to allow ourselves to be taken advantage of. So whether it's the Prime Minister, whether it's a Deputy Prime Minister, whether it's any one of the ministers or the members of Parliament, we as the people of this country that voted have a right. We have a right to criticize if we want, or applaud or congratulate. I mean, why is it that whenever it's good, it's all fine and well? But I'm saying to myself, if you can take the good, then you should also take the bad that comes with it. And everyone should be big enough, should be man enough to accept criticism. Everyone. So I'm not apologizing for the things that I say. All right? Because I'm not slandering anyone. I don't get into dragging anyone in the dirt. I simply point out areas that needs to be worked on. It's as simple as that. And I'm saying if we build a society like that where people have an opinion and they can voice their opinion, I think we will be much better off in this country. Things would move in a different manner, because we will have a society where the politicians and the elected officials actually listen to the people. And this ego mantra that engulfs them or come over them when they get in a certain position doesn't always have to take over. And that's what I said. The only time you get a politician or individual to listen to you is when campaign comes around and it's time for them to solicit your vote. And I am saying that come 2014, let us try and change that way. Let us try to make things different. Let us start to think differently in terms of the individuals. Yes, we need a set of experience and older individuals, but we also need a new batch of groomed and young politicians with the vigorosity, with a fight, with a tenacity, okay, with a boldness to move this country forward, to move this country leaps and bounds. Because yes, we may be doing well in terms of different areas, right? But I mean, let me give you an example, and I just say it here all the time. We still have children that goes to school hungry. We still have children that goes to bed hungry at night. You know? And these are certain things that I believe needs to be worked on. These are things that we need to come to the reality of, come to grips of, and know that poverty exists in this society. Hunger exists in this society. We can boast as much as we want with the harbor and the airport and all these nice things, but we have people that has children, and they go to school and go to bed hungry in St. Martin. It may not be on a large scale, but I don't think it should exist, period. Especially when we boast a budget of over 300 million guilders. You know, we had Miss Pantoflet on, Aldine Bryson Pantoflet on, talking about safe haven, talking about not being able to get 100 guilders. And I'm saying to myself, me, I cannot be a member of parliament or a minister and hear a foundation such as Safe Haven going around to the number of supermarkets on this island and can't get 100 guilders in shopping. It would never happen. Not with me. It would all of a sudden I started to look into those licenses. I started to look into these taxes. I started to look into what you owe. You simply cannot be in a country where you're just sucking and taking and taking from the people and you're not giving back. It is not nice. It is not right. It creates animosity. It creates anger. It creates dislike, distrust, all the bad variables it creates. You see? And it would behoove me to see the women that we have in government, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Education, the Ombudsman, Member of Parliament Gracita Arundel, Member of Parliament Sylvia Myers, Member of Parliament Dr. Ruth Douglas. All right? These women that hold these high esteem, I mean, you guys should be out there and listen. All those women from the Prime Minister down carries considerable weight. When they speak, people listen. People listen when they speak. So Safe Haven shouldn't be having a problem. They shouldn't be having a problem. Like I mentioned the other night, just 20 stores and 4 individuals of local descent work. And I didn't say St. Martin descent, no, local descent. People that look like you and I, because we're not Chinese. Okay? People that look like you and I work in them. And 100 guilders you can't get from Grandma O'Shea. 100 guilders they can't get from Grandma O'Shea. 100 guilders they can't get from Carsuless. 100 guilders they can't get from Afu. 100 guilders. And that's what they're asking for in a month. So if they go and they do a 300 guilder shopping, they're asking for 100 guilders deduction. Or allow them to do 100 guilders in shopping. And trust you me, what are we talking about? $55? About $55 we're talking about. All you're going to get for that is maybe a flour, a milk, and 2 lettuce, and a 6 pound of chicken, a bag of rice, and you're done. That's it. And Carsuless can't do that. Grandma O'Shea in Cole Bay, Simpson Bay, all the way down Cooper Coy, Bush Road. None of you guys can do that. 100 guilders. Afu, you can't do that. Every month, like what is coming up here now, civil servants and teachers spend hundreds of guilders in shopping. All they're asking for is 100 guilders. And you're telling me as a member of parliament, me as a minister sitting down there, can't facilitate and see that this gets done? I'm picking up my phone and I'm calling them. I'm like, see to it that you can assist the members of Safe Haven in acquiring these goods, please. Because that is what you do as government. But when you talk to them that way, oh, it can't be done. All of a sudden now they can't do nothing. When they're in opposition, everything could be done. Everything could be done when they're in opposition. When they're not, it can't be done. The law, the rule, protocol. And I really don't know what to say, because it just doesn't seem right. And then here comes the smart people. Yeah, but Christopher, it's easier said than done. You looking at it from the outside, but when you're inside, it's different. Okay, how different is it just to pick up a phone? Whether you're outside or you're inside, how different or how hard it is just for you to pick up the phone and ask for 100 guilders donation as a member of parliament, as a minister. How hard it is for you to pick up the phone and say, hi, good day, Carsuless. Can I speak to the manager, please? This is so-and-so and so calling from the ministry of so-and-so and so. I would kindly like to ask your humble kindness if you can assist Safe Haven in 100 guilders shopping as a donation, as a sponsor. How hard is that? I don't know. I don't know. Same thing as a member of parliament. How hard? The phone call is free anyway. So you don't have to pay for it. So that can't be an excuse. So how hard is it? So when we see these sort of things, when we hear these sort of things, it makes the public and the people to believe that you guys only care about yourself. You see? This is the reason why I am saying we need to start to think different. We need a different way of doing things. A different way of dealing with the people. And the people themselves need to have a different attitude. Or if not, then we simply continue the trend like this, and nothing changes. The dump remains the same as it is. The ring road remains the same as it is. Food prices, escalating prices remain the same as it is. The crappy and nasty and filthy services remains the way it is. The filthiness of the country and the garbage, everything just remains the way it is because we as a people choose to remain how we are. And that's what I'm saying. If we want change, change needs to start with us. We need to start changing ourselves. That's what we need to do. You know? So like I said, I had something planned, but our discussion is going to be pretty short tonight because there's not much that I have to talk about. But I encourage everyone to really view the website and, you know, like or dislike, sending your comments, sending everything that you think is positive, that you think we need to work on, that you like about the program. You know, hit us up on the chat box, on the chat room. And like I said, you can also log on your BlackBerry now, and you can log on the St. Martin radio, SXM radio, and you can hear us live. It's also on the iPad. You can do the same thing, and you can hear us live. Hopefully, we will be back on Sunday with a guest for Hard Talk. I believe that we should be having one of the union members from the hospital. So that will be a pretty interesting discussion to see how far we are with the hospital and what's going on with the things that we are hearing coming out of the hospital. I know it's Friday, I know it's a weekend, so you guys want to relax. But St. Martin, take care of yourself. God bless everyone, God bless you. And Sunday, God's spare, you'll see me here. Take care.
There was a time when people dare not utter a word. There was a time when people were in the dark and searching for accurate information. Just when all hope is lost and frustration hangs in the balance, SXMTalk emerges and broke the silence. Join host Christopher Emmanuel for live and serious discussions and hard talk.